Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode of Talkin Schmoedown. We're here with episode number 60, and we're going to be talking about some of the announcements that have been dropping on the YouTube channel for Season 9. We're going to be talking a little bit about the upcoming pay-per-view, and there's also something else that I want to address. So thank you, first off, for joining me on this brand new episode of Talkin Schmoedown. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at movieblog Merc. That's where you can follow me for all of my shows there. Be sure to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel and leave reviews on the podcast channels if that's how you listen as well. That'd be fantastic. Helps me out quite a bit. And it lets me know that you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, what you're hearing. All right, so the first thing that I want to address on this episode is something that has been going on for the last couple of weeks within the Schmoedown community. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to hide names or anything like that as far as who did what. Ben Goddard was outed for, see how to put this, using women, lying to them, abusing them in their trust, a lot of real shady tactics. A lot of what he did sounded kind of like grooming, if you wanna go down that route. And it started off, one person came out and talked about her experience with this. Then another person came out. Then two more came out. One of them being a friend of mine. And I knew that she had a falling out with Ben way back in the day, before he became Schmoedown famous and everything like that. He was, I think, just on SEN at the time, but I didn't know about a lot of the other stuff that was going on, and it disgusts me, everything that I heard. Everything that I found out. I never really liked Ben in the first place. He was an all right player, but he, as a person, he always presented himself with an air of arrogance, and it never sat well with me. I had no idea the other stuff that was going on, but thankfully the Christian and Skybound and them, they took it upon themselves to make sure that he is no longer part of, he's not part of the Schmoedown, he's not part of SCN anymore. And I just want to say that, I fully support these women who had to go through this abuse, really is what it is. And I don't care who out there wants to disagree. You can fuck yourself. I really don't care. I support these women. And I want them to know that they are heard, that they are seen, and I will not stand for this kind of shit. If I hear about anybody pulling shit like this, you will get called out. So clean up your act, people. It's ridiculous. If you wanna go out and you wanna have fun and you wanna sleep around, that's fine, but be honest about it. Don't be a fucking dickbag. Plain and simple. I think that's how everybody should live their life in general. Don't be a dickbag. I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb. What do you guys say? But yeah, so I just wanted to address that up the top, and then we're gonna get into everything. So once again, don't be a dickbag. Treat each other with respect. If you want to go off and have relations with people, hey, go ahead. But respect these people enough to be fucking honest, and don't use them. Don't threaten to expose things. Don't make people hide shit because you don't use your power. That's a big thing. That's a big part of what it is, a power dynamic. Don't use your power to get women to do what you want. It's no, that's fucked up, and it's fucked up. He took himself off of, from what I understand, he took himself off of social media and he's not doing any streaming for a while. I don't know how long that will last, but hopefully he will learn and he will change and grow from this experience. And I hope that all the women that have been affected by this are able to heal and move forward, in the coming weeks. All right, so we're gonna get into some good Schmoedown stuff that's been going on. All right, a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. We're gonna start off. A big reveal about the future of the Schmoedown is coming at the pay-per-view. Christian was on a recent episode of the Rundown, talking to Brad and PLD, I believe, about some of the stuff that's going to be coming. And apparently, there's a big reveal coming for the pay-per-view, so you don't want to miss this. If you're not a patron, I highly recommend the $12 tier. You get all the pay-per-views, you get other special stuff. Get it. If you can afford it, I highly recommend it. I've had it for quite a long time, almost since the beginning. Really, I think there may have been like 1 month that I didn't have it at the beginning. So definitely get that if you can. Otherwise, make sure to check it out once it does hit YouTube, which I think will probably be like a week or so after. So just be aware, there's going to be spoilers. People are going to talk. So if you're not going to watch it, when it comes out, just be aware. Christian also addressed some of the Reddit leak stuff that happened, which I gotta say, that Reddit leak was hilarious. There was a lot of funny shit on there. Even Christian was laughing about it. He thought it was brilliant, and it was good. But what wasn't good was the way certain people in the community were trying to blame competitors and people who work for the Schmoedown for doing this. And the person who did this doesn't work. I wholeheartedly believe that they don't have anything to actually do with the Schmoedown. They just wanted to do something fun and see what happened. And sure as shit, something happened. But people attacking the competitors, other competitors going after each other, blaming each other, and it's like, no, like that can't happen. Like, that kind of shit needs to stop. The toxicity in these fandoms, not just the Schmoedown, but in all fandoms, and you guys need to calm it down. Like, I understand loving something. Trust me, I love the Schmoedown. But to start attacking people because of it, no. If you find yourself attacking others because of your love for something, well, then you're not really showing that love. I don't know what the hell you're doing, but it sure as hell is not that. So, has nothing to do with your love of something when you start attacking people like that. He talked a lot about storyline and stuff like that, particularly Chandru's storyline, which I thought was brilliantly built throughout the season. I'm going to talk a little bit about it later, but he had such a bad season, man. Like, especially compared to season 7, it was rough to watch him go through it. Even though I despise his character and was happy to see him floundering, it was still hard to watch how he had this like meteoric rise throughout season 7 and then just plummeted back down to earth in season 8. He announced what the undercard was going to be at this point, and for the pay-per-view, which now everybody should know, it's going to be Video Drew and Claudia Dolph versus the Wildberries. That's going to be a hell of a match, and we're going to talk a little bit about that at the end of the show. Griffin Newman, he addressed this. There was a big rumor that Griffin wasn't going to be coming back. He is absolutely coming back this coming season, so it's going to be fantastic. I'm excited to see. I mean, we saw what he did in season 8. If he can replicate that and go even farther, man, we're in for a treat when it comes to Griffin Newman. Let's see what else. Star Wars is going to be less focused on, with the digital stuff. Christian kind of leaned a bit more into it because he kind of could. And he was just trying to give people content, keep people, occupied, keep people satisfied. But he's going to scale it back a bit. Hopefully not as much as has been in the past where we get like 2 to 3 matches a year, which was ridiculous. So hopefully we'll get, a decent amount, maybe a tournament and a few other matches here and there. I don't want it to be completely just shafted because there's a lot of amazing players who deserve the time to play. I'd love to see the return of like the 5-way Star Wars matches that we used to get back when it started. Those were always fun, and it allowed more competitors a chance to shine. We got to see more people, a larger array of people in both Star Wars and Inner Geekdom that did these, and I really hope that we get to see them return. And then he talked about how the factions are going to be scaled back quite a bit. Stakes aren't going to be as high. It won't be as important. It won't be like the sole focus of the league going into this season, which I'm happy. I'm glad that we're going to still have the stuff, have the faction stuff, but it'll also open up the ability to have other things to happen, other types of matches and other fun stuff go on. So I am excited for that. But he didn't really dive into like how it's all going to work or anything. So hopefully we'll get that soon. Maybe that's what the announcement will be. Maybe who knows? We'll see. The whole faction thing is the biggest question mark, I think, for season 9, for the reboot season. So hopefully we'll get some good answers about that. All right. So then over the past week, we've gotten a series of announcements every day. A manager has posted a new video on the YouTube channel making announcements, various things happening. Okay. And it started off with Sam Levine, the usual suspects. Had no idea what this was going to be. It's like, okay, maybe he's going to announce his team. Who knows what's going to happen? But unfortunately, it was not him announcing the team. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Sam Levine is officially retiring again, disbanding the usual suspects, and he is done. He's a busy guy. Got a lot of projects going on in his personal and professional life. He's getting married this year to Rachel Cushing, and so he's got a lot on his plate. And he said himself he does not want to half-ass, his job as a manager. So he's hanging it up, and that's unfortunate. I loved him as a player back in the day, and I loved when he came back and became a manager. He was the commissioner for a time at one point, but he was great as a manager. I loved him leading the usual suspects. But unfortunately, his time is now done. I don't know what we're gonna have for factions when everything's all kind of shakes out for this season. Right now, we're down to 7. Are we gonna add a faction? Are we gonna have more factions? Are we gonna have like 10 factions since it's all smaller anyways? Since they're all 5-person factions, they could. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right, then we got an announcement from Coy Jandreau and the Quirky Mercs. He revealed his faction. We're getting Shazam, which is William Bibiani and Brendan Meyer, of course. The team champs. He's not going to get rid of them. The greatest fucking team in the Schmoedown right now, and possibly the greatest team the Schmoedown has ever seen as well. Also, Andrew DiMolanta will be on the team representing Star Wars. Brandon, now the Hornet, Hannah for IG. And he has made an offer to one Liz Shannon Miller for that final spot. We haven't heard back as to whether or not she's going to take up that offer, but that could be an interesting pull. Will she separate herself from Ethan? I don't know. If she's on a faction, is she not allowed to team with Ethan? Again, I don't know. I don't know how it works. So we haven't really been told everything that we need to know about how the factions are going to work. So we'll see. I'm intrigued if Liz is going to actually take this offer. I think she would be a good fit. I think it would be a good get for Coy. But we're going to have to wait and find out. All right, the next one. This one was interesting. It had an interesting proposal, and it had an interesting resolution that just happened today, and that's Kaiser and the Dungeon. So he made his announcement saying, "Okay, Kevin Smets, he's coming. Of course, the Smasher's coming back to the Dungeon. I mean, nobody thought it was going to be any other way. Nikki DiMolanta will be repping Star Wars there." And then he announced that he had made a deal with Christian Harloff and Jay Washington to get Ben Bateman and Dan Murrell the ability to get an early number one contender match. All they needed to do was to win one match under the dungeon, and they would get a number one contenders match, which is a pretty damn good deal, right? You know, you win one match and then boom, you're right there, one match away from a title shot. It's a hell of a deal. Apparently Ben and Murrell were about to split up, so this kind of put a little kink in that. Ben had to think about it, had to talk to Dan about it. Okay. So, a few days later, which happens to be today, we got a new video that was posted called Ben Bateman's Dungeon Signing Ceremony. Kaiser was real confident that this was going to be a thing that was going to happen. But Bateman comes on with Kaiser and tells him that they're declining the offer. That's right. They are not going to return to the dungeon, even with the possibility of a number one contenders match. Ben says he's going to be focusing on singles, and then he says that Dan is, quote unquote, doing his own thing. Not sure what that means. Not sure if he's being courted by somebody else. But speaking of being courted by somebody else, Ben also dropped the news that he's been talking to another manager who has made him quite a deal. We don't know who that is. Is it going to be Winston? Is it going to be Kate? I'm kind of hoping maybe Roxy. You know, they have a little history together. That could be interesting. But no matter what, I think it's a good get for whoever does pick up Ben Bateman. And whatever's going to happen with Dan Murrell, I mean, somebody better pick up Dan Murrell. Like, unless he's going to not play much, I feel like there's no reason to not snatch him up. You know, if they don't want to play together, then it's totally fine if they wind up on separate teams. All right. Then we had gotten Gucci. Gucci in the Finstock Exchange did an announcement. What I find funny, so Gucci loves to talk. He's a talker. I mean, you even go back to the Schmoedown Awards, and when he was accepting his award for Faction of the Year, his acceptance speech was just so long. The funny thing about this is that his announcement was the shortest announcement of them all. And I'm not 100% sure why, but I was happy to see it was only like 2.5 minutes long. But it felt like it was the longest one. I'm just saying. He made 2.5 minutes feel like 10. It's ridiculous. But all he did was announce the team. King Arthur, which is Griffin Newman and King Khan. The Barbarian for Inner Geekdom and probably a little bit of singles if need be. And Gold Leader repping Star Wars. With the 5th to be announced. He says it's going to be a huge surprise. Maybe that'll be a Dan Murrell. You know, maybe he'll be coming back over there. So maybe he'll be getting Ben Bateman back. I don't know. Who knows? You know what I mean? It could be anybody. And but he says it's going to be a huge surprise. So let's see. Maybe he'll steal somebody from a different faction. We'll find out. I'm excited for whatever comes out of this. Then we got Adam Witt. So we got a new faction starting. Okay, the usual suspects are out. Adam Witt is starting his own faction. We saw him with the dungeon. He kind of was stepping in to be manager a lot when it came to because Kaiser was out. He works like a producer, I believe, or something like that, or an editor. I'm not 100% sure. But he was working on a TV show. I think he was in like Hawaii. And so he was gone for a lot. So Adam Witt had to step in for a bit. And so I like the idea of him starting a faction. He's calling his faction the Fan Favorites. But he has no members yet. So I don't know who he's going to get. I don't know if this is going to be like not the kind of faction that's going to be a force to reckon with. So maybe it'll be like a Josh Makuga. Maybe the Wild Bear will be on this faction because they are fan favorites, you know. So I think that could be a nice fit for him. So I'm excited to see who he gets. Maybe he'll pull some surprises out and line up a real good faction coming forward. All right, and then the last faction announcement that we have gotten so far is Shannon and Corruption. She did this fun announcement promo with Emma Fyffe and Rachel Cushing. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Are they going to be involved somehow? Are they going to be working with her? Kind of in the background a little bit. I don't know, but I kind of hope so. I'd love to see. I know that Rachel was kind of working with Sam, the Usual Suspects, kind of behind the scenes. So I'd be totally down to see these two ladies working with Shannon in Corruption. So she announced her team. It's going to be, of course, Marisol, the singles champ, of course. It's going to be Mike, of course, the Inner Geekdom champ. It's going to be Chance, so we have the team of Corruption, Mike and Chance, still together. And she's bringing Laura Kelly back home to Corruption to represent Star Wars. And she said she's not sure if she's going to bring Adam Collins back. She could bring him back, have a second team with Deception. But she says he hasn't really, he didn't really deserve it. He didn't earn it this past season, He went from being the champ at the end of season 7 to having a lackluster season. Lost his title, didn't win the team's title, just had a lackluster season in season 8. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, who her 5th pick is going to be, if it's going to be Adam Collins, if it's going to be somebody else, if Marisol's just not going to be on teams anymore, or if she's going to wind up with a new teammate. I don't know. Maybe maybe Rachel Cushing will come back. How cool would that be? Team them up. It would be baller. I'm just putting that out there. And so we have not heard from 3 of the factions so far. Tomorrow they have already put up. It's already up there and waiting. For the video. It's going to be Winston and Swag. So we know that's coming tomorrow. That's already up on the YouTube channel. The premiere is tomorrow, I think at 5 o'clock Eastern, I believe. But we also have not heard from Kate in the Den or Roxy and the Stars. I'm assuming those will come Thursday and Friday, since they've been doing it one a day. And since Saturday is the pay-per-view, it would make sense to get through all of them before the pay-per-view happens. So I'm assuming Thursday and Friday will be Kate and Roxy. I don't know which order it'll be. But, of course, on next week's show, I will talk about whatever happens on those. So, I don't know. I'm assuming... I feel like Kate's could go anywhere, really. I feel like she'll probably keep Saul around. Thomas Harper, definitely. Maybe she'll pick up somebody like because if she's got Saul, she doesn't really need another IG. She definitely needs like a good, solid team. Maybe she'll pick up like a Dan Murrell or a Ben Bateman. That would actually be great for her, to have a heavy hitter like that. I think that would be fantastic. And Roxy, same. Roxy needs some help too. I think if Dan I think Dan should go to the Den, Ben Bateman over to the Stars. I think that would be a good split for that team and good placements as well. But we'll see. We'll see over the next couple of days where they wind up going. And like I said, it's leading into the pay-per-view this Saturday. And speaking of that pay-per-view, we're going to talk a little bit about this pay-per-view, starting with the first match, the opener, which is the Wild Berries versus Video Drew and Claudia Dolph. When Christian announced this, I was pretty stoked about it. It's a really interesting match. It's not like this heavy hitting, like crazy stakes are on the line kind of match. It's going to be fun. Anytime the Wild Berries have a match, it is fun. And that's why I'm so glad that they are back. Video Drew has become a fantastic player. She was always like an interesting one to watch. I always enjoyed when she had a match. but she was always kind of like 50-50 on whether or not she was going to do well. But lately, like this past season, she's done incredibly well. So I think there's a good chance, Claudia Dolph, we don't know really. She's still kind of an unknown quantity when it comes to Schmoedown. She's, I believe she's 1-1, I think. And she hasn't really done all that well, really. Even the match that she won, I believe she beat Christy V, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't the best, it was not a great performance, I guess you could say. So I don't know how she's going to fare here, but I'm excited to watch it. The Wild Berries are currently as a team 3-5. So who knows what's going to happen with them? They could win. They could squeak it out. Josh Makuga is famous for lucking into a win here and there. The crazy thing, when I was looking up their stats, I had not realized this. They're 3-5, and all 5 of their losses are TKO losses. So when they lose, man, they lose hard. So are we going to have a TKO loss, or are we going to have a win? I don't know, man. It could really go either way. And Video Drew has previously played and defeated Elliot Dewberry in singles, and this is the only time that any of these players outside of like the Dewberry or the Wild Berries facing each other, it's the only time that any of them have faced one another. Video Drew and Makuga haven't gone up against one another, and Claudia Dolph hasn't gone up against either of them, and so there's a little bit of an edge there. You got Video Drew having actually beaten one of them, and has been having had a real good season. So what could happen? Will things balance out? I don't know. I'm just hoping for a great match, and no matter what, I know it's going to be a fun match. So yeah, it's going to be good. But it's not going to be nearly as good as this main event. Kevin Smets versus Chandru the Chosen, number 3. This is the rubber match, folks. They're 1-1 against each other. Who's going to come out on top? Who is going to be the true inner geekdom player between the two? Who's going to succeed? Who's going to climb that mountain and say, guy, you're going to wait your turn? I'm hoping that it's Kevin Smets. All right. I got a little bit of stats here. Kevin Smets is 6-2 in Inner Geekdom with 1 title win. Chandru is 7-4 with 1 title win and 1 defense. Now, to Smets's credit, he wound up having to take an entire year off because of the cancer and everything. So, but here's the thing: will he be rusty? Kevin has only played 1 match in the last almost 2.5 years. Yeah. It was the end of 2019 up until now. He's played 1 match, and it was the match where he lost his title. And so will he be rusty? Maybe. I'm hoping not. He might come in guns blazing and just smoke Chandru out. And he might not even get a chance. Who knows? It could go either way when it comes to that. He battled cancer and kicked cancer's ass. So, if he can do that, I think he can fucking do anything, man. It's Kevin fucking Smets, for crying out loud. He can do it. I know he can. And then we get to Chandru. And the real question is, can Chandru pull himself together after that crap fest of a year he had last year? He went 1-2 last year. And he had an undefeated season in 2020 during season 7. He went undefeated. He was 3-1 in 2019 until he got to Spectacular, and wound up losing to Kevin Smets that year at Spectacular. Then he came into 2020 just on fire. He went 3-0, won the title and defended the title. And then in 2021 came around, he just kind of lost it all. He lost the title right away. He did pick up a win. I think it was against Robert Parker in the middle of the season, then lost again, and just kind of really fizzled. He had like a breakdown, essentially, character-wise, at least. And it just everything. He just lost everything, you know. So will this be his redemption story? I don't know. Even if he loses this match, he could still have that redemption. You know, he could still go through the season and other than the Kevin Smets match, he could go through the season undefeated, really. You know what I mean? They both can. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure that this won't be the last time we see them face each other this year. I wouldn't, if they can both turn things around. I think that this is gonna be a feud for the ages. And I'm really hoping that being back in studio and everything is going to relight fires for everybody. So, yeah, I'm really excited. That's the pay-per-view. I don't know what Christian's announcement is going to be. Hopefully some big stuff. We're going to finally see this studio. I'm really, really excited for season 9, for the reboot season of the movie Trivia Schmoedown. It's going to be fantastic. So, yeah, I think that's about all I've got for this episode. I know it was a short one, but next week we're going to be talking about this pay-per-view. We're going to be breaking down everything that went on at the pay-per-view. So join me next Tuesday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Pacific Time for those of you on that coast. Be sure to join me. I'm going to be breaking down this pay-per-view. It's going to be a good time. I'm so excited. And I'll also be talking about any other announcements that drop over the next week. So, yeah, thank you guys again for joining me. Be sure to check me out on Twitter at MovieBlogMerc. You can see it right down. Where is it? Right down there at the bottom of the screen at MovieBlogMerc. That is the Twitter handle for my page, Merc with a Movie Blog. If you're watching this on YouTube, you are on the Merc with a Movie Blog YouTube channel. Please be sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, just like Kevin Smets. Smash that shit, and hit that little bell so you always are notified whenever I drop a brand new video. If you are listening on any of the various audio platforms, whether it be Anchor, you can leave anchor.fm/movieblogmerc. You can leave a voice message. I'll play it on air. If you have a question about any of the shows, whether it be this, any of them, I'll play it on the respective shows. And if you are listening on like Apple or Spotify, you can do a 5-star review if you like what you're listening to, and I will read them out on air as well. I do that on one of my other shows, Last Call at McLaren's, that I do with my buddy John. It's a How I Met Your Mother podcast, so check that out as well. All right, folks, I think that's it. Once again, follow me on Twitter at MovieBlogMerc. And as always, keep watching movies. Catch you guys next time.